big hello and a very warm welcome to a special mentorship mini-series called Starting Off with Ronnie Screwvala. Thank you so much for joining us, Ronnie. Truly a pleasure having you on the show, and thank you so much for doing this.
I'm enjoying it. This is the second week and I'm already enjoying it.
Also joining us today are three very dynamic entrepreneurs: Naiyya Saggi, founder of BabyChakra; Hemant Satyanarayanan, founder of Imagine It; and Vidya Radhakrishnan, founder of Helios Media. And with that, let me put the spotlight on the first entrepreneur for today, and that's Naiyya Saggi. But before I throw it to you, Naiyya, let's take a look at Naiyya's backstory and, what she was really doing before she turned entrepreneur.
Hi, my name is Naiyya Saggi. I'm 31 years of age. I grew up in Calcutta, went to undergrad at National Law School, Bangalore, went on to join McKinsey & Company as a consultant, and went on to do my MBA at Harvard Business School. When I moved back to India, my co-founder Nitesh and I were discussing different startup options, and what we realized was that there were young parents, millions of young parents who were in Facebook groups and WhatsApp groups, desperately searching for information on local care services for their children. Things like pediatricians, OBGYNs, going on to play schools, activity centers, daycares, etc. So with an initial seed capital of about 15 lakhs, Nitesh and I decided to found BabyChakra.
Well, now that we know your backstory, Naiyya, it's over to you on what really BabyChakra is all about.
Sure. So we started BabyChakra a year back to really disrupt the way parents make decisions. What BabyChakra does is it helps parents discover and decide on local services. So right from when you're expecting a baby, so -9, to when your child is 5 years of age, so -9 to 5, there's a plethora of local services you look for, starting off with cord blood banks, maternity hospitals, pediatricians, OBGYNs, play schools, activity centers, daycares. So what BabyChakra does is actually creates a community platform, very strongly social integrated, that helps you make better decisions as a parent.
Where did the need come from?
Just from what I see around me. 60% of India today lives in nuclear families, so the structures, as you know it, Ronnie, don't exist anymore. You don't have mother-in-laws and sister-in-laws and friends who are in the same life stage or locality as you. So more and more young women and young dads are turning online to make decisions. So the way we work is actually very different and very unique. So unlike a typical classified platform, what we do is we actually crowdsource recommendations on local services from thousands of parents in the cities they are in, and we profile those services.
So it's a basic aggregation of everything that you want to know in that city.
Absolutely.
So it's very city specific.
It is city specific. It is hyperlocal.
Right.
The way we've been doing marketing so far has been very interesting. I think we've actually been following an influencer strategy that we developed in-house. So each locality in each city is divided into, is actually owned by a mom champion, as we call it. We've identified these local influencers, and we work very closely with her and in actually ensuring she's an evangelist for BabyChakra. So her role is to tell us what are sort of the best local services, and also promote BabyChakra among her community, both online and offline.
Now, with the pedigree that you have you sort of all define a sort of a vision statement and what you want to be 3 years from now?
Absolutely.
So
our mission is to disrupt the way parents make decisions, not just in India, potentially globally as well, because the need exists. The second thing.
So when you say disrupt, what do you mean by that? I mean, because now that's firstly they need to first rupt before they disrupt. Right.
So what we realized is that parents are struggling, and these are critical care decisions they're making, right?
So give us a little bit of statistics, and I know time is short, so I'm just going to get a little, but give us some statistics of where you've reached in this 1.5 years or 1 year.
Absolutely. So this month we closed at about 500,000 users, monthly users.
50,000 users.
Yes.
Okay.
We have about 4,500 local services. We've started with about 20 experts.
What are your challenges or what are your questions on the show?
So my challenges are just how to sort of capture, so there's so much noise that's been created in terms of, capturing consumer mindshare, regardless of funding. What are interesting ways you've seen, you've done Hangama, right? So what are interesting ways you've seen in which a startup like mine can actually, go out, talk to parents and really connect
And
with
what
them.
are you doing presently in terms of marketing other than
the Mom Champion program?
Yeah.
So what we've been doing is we've been actually leveraging a lot. So we've been tying up with a lot of big brands have approached us, and we've been using their social media to reach out to a broader audience. So for instance, J&J and Danone and all keep tweeting us, Mom and Me keeps tweeting us.
That's not going to get you scale.
Exactly. So the other thing we're trying is also sort of a mix of offline and online. So we're sort of focusing our resources more on...
This is your business. You can actually figure out that in the class of society or in the segments that you want to be, especially in these two cities, there will be statistics, definitely statistics of the born and plus up to 5 years.
Yeah.
that there's going to be, so why don't you focus on that? Because that is something that is data crunching, which you can be specific about. You don't need to go with wasteful media for that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And the 0 to 9, the discovery processes, they're obviously going to some medical outreach program. If you get those two hubs, what is that market size? Is that, how in a city like Mumbai, is that 1 million people? Is that 50,000? Is that, what is that range? Have you figured that out?
We have. So, but, you know, again, Ronnie, because of the content platform that we have, our market is not just Bombay. It's also sort of the 30 million mothers, and therefore just sort of aggregating that, the 60 million young dads, 60 million young parents online, right? So for us, the market is largely the parents online because they're already online, they're already educated in using online, right?
All right.
So for that, we've been trying.
And where are they online today?
They're online on social media. They're online on Google.
And their parents, or they're in that range?
They're in that range, and exactly.
How did you figure that part out?
So just by doing the data crunching you talk about.
Good. So that's your focus in audience.
Exactly.
Now the question is, how am I going to reach them?
Absolutely.
So you don't need peripheral media for that.
True.
So your real trigger point is that in this community of the quantity that you talk about, how do you get them into a social media platform within a social media platform? Because
so it's all digital. It's all digital outreach and digital marketing.
It has to be.
It has to be.
Because you're offering an online product in
True.
But if you can get them to talk to each other, and you can be that catalyst for that thought process, you're in for the long run.
Yeah.
My instinct tells me that you need to get that ecosystem where people are talking to each other.
Yeah.
If they don't get that from each other, they're not going to come back to your platform just for advice and just for where's the nearest X store or Y store or Z store. That will be transformation. That will be really disruptive.
Yeah.
So to that, Ronnie, I have a question. If her customers or revenue model is based on, you know, you're getting paid from the service providers, right? Doesn't that dilute your credibility already?
So not the basic listing, right? So you don't get listed on your platform if you're not of high quality service or you didn't come and recommended by a parent.
That's your seeding through yourself.
Yes.
That's your screening.
Yes, we are.
Okay.
We are. So it's only in, you know, if you want to be even, you want to sort of update pictures, you want to post special offers, you want to sort of, you know, really hyper-locally target a certain customer base, and you pay for that service.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for that, Naiyya. That was really interesting. It's time for us to take a quick break.
Absolutely.
So, Ronnie, my favorite question to you is that if I had to force you to pick one of the 3 startups today on display, which one would you invest in?
And my favorite answer is that I don't normally get forced into making an investment in that context. But and I think each of them have got their own. But if I had to choose, it would be BabyChakra, because I think it's got the potential. It's got that element of being able to scale, if nurtured where it can. But whereas the other 2, I think, have still got either clarity or are neat businesses on their own.
And with that, we come to the end of this edition of Starting Up with Ronnie Screwvala. Hope you enjoyed the show. Next week, we'll be back with 3 more dynamic entrepreneurs, a fresh set of problems, and of course, the man himself, Ronnie Screwvala. Until next week, I'm going to leave you with this thought. It's never too late to go out there and start up.